vehicle is estimated to have a potential top speed of over 400 miles per hour. That's not surprising considering it's fueled by the same engine as the Dodge Viper, one of the fastest sports cars on the road today. Yet, it's half the weight.
Alright guys, so today we are going to look at one of my favorite concepts that Dodge released back in the early 2000s, okay? In the late 90s, early 2000s, it seemed like Dodge basically just said screw it and came up with really some of the coolest concepts we've ever seen. If you take a look at it, just Google search, Dodge concepts, you'll see just a laundry list of some of the really just the coolest things out there. And they really started pimping out the Viper, okay? Taking the Viper, putting it in a Dakota, taking the styling, making a Copperhead out of it. There was just all kinds of random, weird, cool stuff going on with Dodge. And, as we know today, you have the Demon, the Red Eye. They're always in the forefront of pushing the envelope, seeing what they can do and seeing what the general public thinks of it. Now, one of the concepts that I really want to look at is called the Tomahawk, okay? And someone had the brilliant idea of taking a Viper engine and making a motorcycle out of it.
Some thought the idea was insane, but when senior designer Mark Walters learned of it, he jumped on board and started drawing up plans for the Dodge Tomahawk.
Okay, I believe the top speed was in the 400s, okay? And so imagine a Dodge Viper in a motorcycle form. And that's exactly what they created. One of the coolest motorcycles I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, I'm not really sure as to why it never made it into production or anything like that. I believe this is a one-off. And yeah, let's take a look at this monster that goes 400 plus miles an hour.
The project was immediately greenlit.
The process by which we fabricated the majority of the parts of the Tomahawk involves using a computer and some CAD software. Basically, I sit down and build an electronic 3D wireframe model of each part and send that data off to a place that does nothing but milling.
Once the design was locked, the actual building of the beast took place at RM Motorsports, a vintage race car restoration fabrication shop in Wixom, Michigan. It builds everything from Formula One cars to Model Ts.
The bike was built right here in this room from start to finish. We kept the door closed, and it was a big secret. Nobody hardly knew about it. Even people inside Chrysler didn't know about it because they didn't want to get around.
And after nearly 6 months of pounding away in total secrecy, the Tomahawk was finally finished and ready for its highly publicized debut at the North American International Auto Show on January 5th, 2003.
Well, I guess I should have known better.
At the climax of the show, the bike was to be ridden out into a sea of eager reporters by the Chief Operating Officer and Second in Command at Daimler Chrysler, Wolfgang Bernard.
We were all really, really nervous. A lot of things could have gone wrong, Maybe you just stall the thing on the ramp or something, that would have been really embarrassing.
Luckily, the stunt went off without a hitch, and the bike took to the stage like a silver bullet. The audience was in awe.
It was overwhelming. The response it got when they first unveiled it, we were blown away.
The Dodge Tomahawk became an instant sensation. Daimler Chrysler had the attention of the world. But the one question on everybody's mind was, how does it ride? Only a select few people have been lucky enough to know the answer to that question firsthand. And they all seem to agree it was the ride of their life.
It's kind of like riding a Dodge Viper on steroids. It has all the power, all the brakes, and a lot more acceleration.
first time I got on the Tomahawk, I gunned it pretty good. And when I got off, I really was kind of speechless. I was more shaking and kind of white. And I'm no stranger to fast vehicles or even motorcycles, but this thing is really, really fast. The second time, I started to get addicted.
In perfect conditions, this vehicle is estimated to have a potential top speed of over 400 miles per hour. That's not surprising considering it's fueled by the same engine as the Dodge Viper, one of the fastest sports cars on the road today. Yet, it's half the weight.
The things that the two vehicles, the Tomahawk and the Viper, have in common are obviously the power plant and the fact that there are 4 wheels on both vehicles. And I would say the quantity of testosterone that's in the mix of both. We have yet to stage a drag race between the Tomahawk and a Viper. The Tomahawk weighs much, much less. The Viper has a better contact patch, so it would be very interesting. I think the Tomahawk would come out on top in acceleration. In fact, I'm pretty sure it would.
One day, the two rivals may be put to the test. A lot.
In this video, we're going to go over one of my favorite concept cars, and it's called the Sidewinder. In 1997, Dodge showed up to the SEMA convention in Las Vegas with this, and it blew people away. The funky design and what's actually under the hood, it is so confusing. It is a Dodge Dakota and a Viper